for some more time. Uh, I'll wait for 2 minutes and then I'll begin because I'm expecting some more to join. So we are discussing now the second part, that is the cash management. So just to revise, please read this slide and we'll continue further. So working capital is that part which we require to finance our operational activities, which we require as health indicators, and which we are using for understanding how I can finance my daily routines. So let's understand what is the cash management. A cash management is a systematic approach for collecting, handling, and investing the cash resources to maximize operational efficiency. So, in cash management, I'm ensuring the funds are available as and when the liability is there. I'm taking care that organizational liquidity requirements are honored when it is required. So, indirectly, it is an effort of managing my collection from debtors, payment schedule for creditors, and internal adjustment for funds for operation. So in cash management, I need to enhance my movement of cash smoothly so as to the funds available, the funds generated are more smoothly collected and allocated for more productivity. If it is shortage, I should able to predict and analyze it. And if it is excess, strategically, I should able to take decision how to reinvest and how to go next. Now, why the cash management is important? It is the heartline of any operational business to have sufficient funds for operation. The cash management helps to avoid the liquidity crisis. It ensures the proper funds are available for operations. It ensures the operational efficiency and motivation of satisfactory resource allocation. It helps to understand the gaps, future requirements, and excess cash management, what we can do. So, whatever the strategic decision I want to take, whatever the values I need to understand, in all these values, all these process, all this management, how the money is coming in and going out, that will ensure my growth. And to formulate strategies as well as to take the key decisions regarding development strategies, the cash management plays an effective role. So, the cash management is an integral part of any company's funds or operation arrangements, where planning for future, forecasting current needs, and meeting operational efficiency is possible if I do cash management. In short, I can say cash management is integral part of a system which is called as a cash flow, which is a strong backbone of any business. In any business, land, labor, cash, man, machine, or four factors. Labor is the only actual factor, and he is motivated by cash. If I talk about land, labor, or machine, they are always supported and motivated by the indicators and availability of funds. And this availability of funds is feasible by means of a cash management. So, if I manage the cash efficiently, I manage the cash effectively. This will give me and help to support my progressive business and to avoid my losses. So, cash management is an a best alternatives available to manage my funds so efficiently that my business will function smoothly. Now, what are objectives and challenges of cash management? Like financing from bank, the objectives for cash management will be similar. I have to ensure the continuous flow of cash with optimum liquidity and minimize borrowing cost. I have to ensure allocation of funds to required activity and avoid wastage and misuse. I have to make sure that whenever the borrowings are feasible, they are internal generated or they are of such nature that these borrowings are strategically forecasted and avoided to have excess or shortage. Now, this we already discussed in bank finance, so I'll go for that. Now, let's talk about the most important part. What we're supposed to discuss today is strategic cash management techniques. So, we are going to talk about some models of cash management and some techniques of cash management. So, we'll discuss. The first model is called tied cash management approach. The approach is basically focused on three operations: one, investment, liquidity, and flow. As per this approach, if I have only regular funds available, then I should ensure that minimum cash for daily operations, very few liquidity, and invest more in long-term cash. For example, I'll consider three categories. If my income is 10, my income is 100, and my income is 1000. If my expenses are 50, then here I'll be short by 40. Here I'll be excess 150 and here I'll be excess by 950. When I short by 40, I have to ensure minimum cash balance so that the amount of 50 will go down. If this amount cannot go down, I have to make sure strategically that the funds allocation has priority. The funds allocation need to be postponed and rescheduled. But when I have liquidity available, I need to ensure the liquidity is at level. It should not be more or it should not be lower. It should be maintained. So, for example, we mentioned liquidity ratio is 1:1. So, I need to maintain a ratio around this. This is book ratio, but in actual, current assets are maintained 0.85 as to 1, and it is called near liquid. And when I have surplus funds more than required, I should invest in such a way that these funds will be my alternative source of future income generation. So I'll wait for 2 minutes. Please read this way. Let's move further. For cash flow forecasting, I have various alternative modes available. I can take help of a consultant. I can take help of an experienced person. I can use real-time monitoring by my documentation. I can assess forecasting by using various algorithms and AI tools. So this integration will help my forecasting properly and I can manage my cash more effectively. For better cash management, the most important strategy is managing the receivable. Now, managing receivable means I need to reduce and bargain the debtor's collection period and maximize the creditor collection repayment so that the funds will be available in the organization. So what I'll do is I'll start providing cash discount. I will motivate to pay in advance. I will ensure the CRM approach or value-added services. If the customer is buying in cash, I have to make sure that transactions are more digital and collection is accelerated. If any customer is bulk, he is able to pay. I can even extend my trade discounts. So I have to negotiate with my debtors. I have to assess their creativity and take the decision about giving credit period. Based on creativity, credit period, and durations, I need to take a call how much credit to be provided to whom, why, and when. If these decisions are taken, then it is always a favorable situation to manage my payments, and digitalization of these payments will ensure the quick recovery of my debtors. And this will enhance my liquidity and cash position. I'll wait for 1 minute. Please read the slide. Let's move further. Inventory and procurement optimization is another strategic approach towards cash management. Because for any business, debtors and inventory, these are two painful areas. How I manage it more correctly gives a benefit for cash management. If suppose for my business, I get the products raw material in Jan, it takes month till July for doing production and I start selling goods in September. So if I consider June to September, sorry, Jan to September, it's 9 month period. So it means the raw material which I receive to encash, it takes 9 months. So if the period is longer, what will happen? Then I talk about first quality, I talk about then value, I talk about importance, I talk about control, I talk about market trends. So one, two, three, four, five. These factors will impact my cash generation. In this place, if suppose I received the raw material in Jan and I issued to the market in Feb, so 2 months, or I received in Jan and I issued to the market in Jan only, so 1 month. So shorter the duration, the better cash management. So I had to follow the techniques called EOQ, time analysis, just in time, forensics, and so on. And this just in time approach will reduce my stock of inventory. So instead of keeping a bulk stock and then talk about what is minimum level, what is average, what is highest, I should ensure that optimal stock is always maintained, and this optimal stock will follow just in time approach. This should follow economic order quantity. This should follow the time managed approach, and this should follow the queen approach. This will enable for effective inventory management. If my procurement channels are clear, they are direct, and they follow the system approach by way of strategic alignment, then instead of having change from one person, then second, then third, and reaching to a company, or when I'm selling, I need to follow one, two, and three. If I can directly go here, or if you can sell here, then this cost and handling as well as time is reduced. So if I properly select distribution channels, procurement system, and do the strategic analysis, then this will enable reaching the market and encashment of products more quickly. And this will enhance my cash management. So I need to synchronize my cash management with my operational activity in such a way that my operational activities are generating the funds more effectively, efficiently, and in lesser times. Now let's talk about overcoming obstacles and leverage technology. The first challenge is system integration. I need to first understand what is the flow of actions in my production cycle. I need to understand my creators policy. I need to understand my data's policy and approach and types of data I'm having. I will try to find out the good data, possible bad data, and dangerous. I will do the ranking of my creators and raters. I will analyze the material which is mandatory and which I can postpone. Based on that, I will check what is my current system of cash management and I can take a decision about intermediaries, shortcuts, modernization, digital payments, and this will help me for system integration by eliminating unnecessary parts and delays. I have to take help of modern technology and follow the system of global transparency. I have to enhance more and more accounting standards approach and be part of chain management. This will help to overcome the cash management challenges. Since less risk, proper documentation, trust in operations, and following the change in pattern of sales market trends, I will overcome obstacles of cash management effectively. Now let's talk about leveraging technology for cash management. Before I explain, I want all of you to read the slide. So I'll wait for 2 minutes. So the first thing we all discussed, I should take help of the new technology, algorithms, and AI. I should always have watchful ideas about real-time dashboard by integration of some scientific methods and automated logarithm intelligence. This will give me a boost and idea about progressive growth of organization. I should ensure more and more integration of modern methods of payments. I should make sure that data is available for quick assessment and this way the use of technology will enhance maximum output and proper control and coordination about cash management. So if I want to achieve the successful cash management, I need to first understand the system. I need to find out loopholes. I need to understand strategies. I need to understand the rationality and contracts with debtors and creditors. I have to be proactive and take the decision significantly before the risk arises. If I feel the funds are might require, I should be proactive for arrangement of funds. If I get a feeling that it might possible that excess funds are available, I should take the proactive decisions about investments. Maximum use of technological enhancement and competitive strategies regarding market, customer choice, and supply trends I should follow. And this will give me an strategic edge or cash management. So I'll wait 1 minute. Please read the slide and then I'll move further. Let's move further. So this was all about cash management. Now let me talk about models of cash management. So what are the different models available? So let's revise why it is important and with reference to 2025. Just read the slide. We'll move further. So you understood that 85% of market is uncertain about cash flows, and from 2020 we can find more than 3.2 times strategic decisions are evaluated about cash management. So there is a rapid change and development in cash management strategies, their approaches, their methods. And if I find a need of working capital in last 2 years, it is grown up to $1.76 trillion on global level. So the need of cash management has effectively under observance and having a greater importance as we are progressing further. So just to brush up again, the most important challenges of working capital are proper supply chain, cultural transformation, and most important, managing borrowing costs and liquidity. So how the funds are coming in, how the payment cycle is maintained, these all aspects are controls regulated by working capital, and this is correlated to the cash management. Now let's talk about core cash management models. The first model is Bhumal model. This model talks about three things. One, transaction cost, holding cost, and balance. As per this model, the Bhumo says whenever I transact, whenever I buy, whenever I pay for creators, I need to analyze the cash position on three levels. What is the cost of delay? What is the cost of holding? And what is the cost of transactions if I have? He advocates that one person should optimize his holding period till that he has a professional strength in profitability. This model is a mathematical precision which advocate proper cash pattern analysis and ensure the proper strategic advantage of managing payments. So if I want to say, suppose I have three suppliers A, B, and C, and I have to provide the funds. I need to understand when I'm repaying them, who can give me more credit. Suppose B is giving more credit, then I have to delay his payment. If C requires immediate payments, then I have to talk to him on discounts. If A is neither in hurry nor delaying, then I should take care that he is my balancing factor, he is my holding, and he is my transaction. So while payments, also if I take one, two, and three, my datas, the similar thing I need to study. In all this case, I will check what is my transaction cost, what is my transfer cost, and what is the total amount involved. That is, all three are strategically evaluative, and strength is taken on precision for organization. So, how much to be hold, how much to pay out, how much to receive, and how much funds are to be maintained. This I need to take care based on transaction value, based on future prediction of cash flow, and size of my operational efficiency. So let's move further to the next model. The second model of cash management is Miller-Orr model. As per this model, I have to set the triggers, or I need to set the controls to manage my cash. I need to set the benchmark for funds available for operations. So as per this model, I have to plan my activities throughout the year and ensure these plan activities are functioning smoothly. I have to make sure that, okay, in 12 months period, I have to plan the activities one, two, three, four, five. Then I need to find out expenditures, tentatives. Then I will analyze the details of actual expenditures and then take the corrective actions. So first set the control, monitor, and then analyze the performance. So in short, the Miller-Orr model is variance analysis of my actual spending, what I was planning, how much I actually spent, and how much I'm going to recover. This will be comparatively analyzed in Miller-Orr model. So let's move for the next model, the Stone model of incorporating cash flow forecasting. The Stone was advocate of modern systems of collection. He emphasized over channelization of funds. So as per him, I should be proactive rather than only controls and ensure the funds are mobilized quickly. For example, if my office in India closed at 5 p.m. in the evening, same time after 1 hour, my office in US open at individual time. So I can take advantage of my time zone. I can take advantage of modern methods like Swift, IMPS, satellite transfer, and so on. and I have to bridge the gap between traditional methods and modern methods. I should figure out integration of technology in control and coordination and make sure the funds are moved or managed more effectively. So he is advocating use of modern methods as a bridge between classical and modern developments, application of technology for proactive approach so that whenever the funds are required, they are properly integrated and marketed. Now let's talk about integration of technology and data into cash management. I'll wait for 2 minutes. Just read the slide. So AI algorithms and various modern methods will help for precision decision making, reducing errors, and instant decisions. Application of them will enhance my human skills and clear transparency and trust in cash management. So indirectly, application of technology will enhance saving time, more accuracy, and growth for individuals. So let's move further. Let's talk about history of PayEx. This is a system where invoice processing is done using automation. The invoice which I generate is shifted through API codes to the vendor. Vendor will open the invoice in app. He will verify the goods and quantity. Once he confirm in the app, he will revert back in an app to the seller. Once the seller receives the invoice, he will process and dispatch the goods. After receiving the goods dispatch, the final invoice is sent. The person has to check the invoice digitally. He has to verify the delivery digitally and send the receipt to the company digital way. After this, he has to pay the goods in 7 working days. And after payments, the manufacturer send him a digital note of completion of transaction. So this PayX will help use of optimum technology and methods to reduce the time, enhance the trust, and avoid wastage. Now we already discussed, so I'll just skip and go. Just read this slide, then we'll go for the next part. I'll move further. The future cash models will be more integrated of more AI. There will be more robotics and advanced algorithm. Instead of only Tableau or Python or R programming or Excel, these models will apply historical growth approach and more accurate in prediction. These models will create and trust and will avoid human interference and errors in predictions. Because of emergence of AI tools, no more coding, no more VLOOKUPs, no more formula are more important. Rather, backbone integration of technology will be more convenience to any person for making decisions about cash management. So, if I want to master the cash management in competitive advantage, I need to create a very solid foundation about approach. I need to analyze my current system and maximize automation and foolproof system of procurement and dispatch. I had to revise my strategies and align them with technological advancements and AI capabilities. I had to unlock the significant value of working capital needs by forecasting in advance and planning for arrangement of funds. I need to make sure that legal compliances are strictly observed and overburdens or shortage are avoided. I have to integrate traditional values with future ready values and enhance resilience and sustainable growth in future upcomings. So this is all about cash management. Any doubts so far? Any doubts? Okay. Now we talk about financing from bank. We talk about how to analyze working capital. The three more chapters we are going to deal how and what are the motives of holding the cash, then how to manage surplus funds, and in the last, we'll talk about legal formalities about working capital. So let me share the next PPT with you. So in this PPT, we'll study motives of holding cash. Then we'll talk about how to manage the surplus funds and what are strategies. And then we'll discuss legal formalities about working capital. And after this, we'll end the chapter and the last unit of advanced functional memory. So after tomorrow's session, we start a revision of advanced financial memory, and by considering the dates of your university examinations will ensure Now, today we have a date 25th. So 26, 27, and 28, we might finish the syllabus of AFM. 29 till 5th, we'll do the revision for advanced financial management. And after 5th, what we is going to do is on 6th, we'll revise direct taxation, and there I will finish your syllabus for same. So by 6th, with revision, I will finish syllabus for advanced financial management. All of you need to read the syllabus, find out any doubts. If any doubts, you need to connect with me offline or online, and please solve these doubts and make sure you're scoring good in AFM. So let's talk about motives of holding cash. So this is just revision. Okay. Why liquidity is important? Again, when I have funds available for quick payments, I get a confidence to take the decision. I get a confidence that yes, I have backbone supported. So stakeholders are motivated because they are very ensured that whatever happens, the backbone is available. This will help for my operational efficiency, and ultimately, this will create the stability in financing decisions and further progression for any company. Cash is considered to be most liquid assets. There are forms of cash. Please just read the slide and we'll move further. So the cash has three: the liquid cash, nearby cash, and some funds which can be converted into cash. So I'm not explaining this concept because it's already repeated and you know it. Okay. Why you hold the cash? One is transaction motive, second is precaution, and third is speculation. The transaction motive talks about I need a cash for completing my transaction by honoring for my payments. The precautionary motive talks about safety purpose, where I hold some cash so that if any urgency, I can able to pay. The speculative motive talks about earning more profits out of the available funds. So the transaction motive is expenses, precautionary motives is reserve, and speculative motives is called investment. So when I have 10 rupees in my pocket in a day, I normally do not spend 10 rupees. I'll keep 2 rupees for safety. Suppose 6 rupees I spend, at least something I will keep for my future needs. So when I'm holding a cash, I use for transactions, I use for keeping some reserve for future needs, and when my money is more, I go for future investments. So these are three motives of holding cash. Now, when I restricted funds and I need to do the management of cash, I need to first rank my preferences. I need to revise the negotiating terms and strategies. I have to set my priorities and I need to ensure the use of discounts, factoring, and value propositions so that the payment distance are either delayed or discounted. And this will help for better cash management when restricted source of funds are available. Now, how I can use marketable securities for balancing liquidity and return? The marketable securities are of three types. One, secured, unsecured, and aggressive. I can take the decision about investment in all the securities based on my needs. If I'm getting regular payments, I will go with bank instruments. But if I'm getting a lump sum payments, I will take a 50-50 approach over the government securities and equity market, where some part is secured and some part is invested for future repayments. So based on market instruments, I'll take a call whether I want immediate payments or scheduled payments. Sometimes to take concessions and security, I will invest in government bonds. So these instruments, these channels will help me to avoid holding cash and taking care. I'll focus on high liquidity and short-term fund regeneration by ensuring the holding my cash in marketable securities. So in short, if I hold marketable securities, they will help me extra income generation because instead of keeping idle cash, I can get some returns. Second, they will reduce the concentration of risk because multiple source of holding I'm having. If suppose equity market fails, I have government investment. If government investments are not required, I investment in bank and so on. So multiple flow of income will give an confidence over cash management. And when I have income and diversified source of income, then risk can be optimized, and this will give me more flexibility regarding decisions about strategies and cash requirements. So my cash cycle will more work effectively towards optimum working capital management. So these are the four quadrants of risk and return. In first quadrant, if you can see here, it is high safety, low return, and high return. So when I'll be in this quadrant, then I will have low returns and my safety will be high because we have universal formula. When the risk is high, the returns are always high. So if I invest in this quadrant, I'll be called as average. If I have low returns and low safety, then these investments are called as negative. But in case when I have lower safety and high returns, they are mostly called as risky capital or risky investments. And when I have high safety and high returns, they are called as moderate investment. So this is a four quadrant approach. When low returns, high safety, it's average. When returns are so low and safety is low, it's a negative investment. When It is high safety and high return. Then investments are called moderates. And when safety is less but returns are high, it is called as risky investment. So people always should prefer first moderate, then average, and then talk about risk. So if I rank, it is one, it is two, it is three, and normally avoid this four because I'm interested in something called return. So let's move further. So when I take decision about trade-offs, I need to ensure manage my liquidity, manage my sufficient funds, and ensure optimum use of funds for generating additional returns. So if liquidity and profitability has to manage, I need to ensure a proper allocation of funds, not shortage, not excess. And whatever the extra, they are reinvested in such a way they they are generating returns. So if you remember, Marks and Spencer stores was there in India, but they ignore the operational efficiency. They are big giants. They open the shops like Big Bazaar, Pantaloons, but they did not focus on cash money. Their operational cost was more, the recovery points were less. They used to give credit to the suppliers, but never negotiated the terms and cycle. In terms, they lacked in approach of systematic valuations and follow, and after some time, they merged with Pantaloon and lost their existence. So if I want to manage a cash, I need to understand proper forecasting, proper pooling of funds, and better investment policies. This will help me to optimize my cash management and reduce risk about fund allocation and wastage of funds. Now, what are the new terminologies? Now, the cash management has a greater challenge about digital integration, digital transformations, and understanding the frauds and errors of digitalization. Similarly, the changing accounting standards, that is accounting standard 7, which deals with cash management, is also a greater approach. If I want to manage my funds, I need to ensure that proper disclosures about classification and measurement of cash and securities under accounting standard 7 are followed. So, avoid valuation complexities, better transparency, and digital integration with compliance to regulatory changes will make my cash management more effective. So, if I summarize, there are three motives of holding cash: transaction, that is meeting the current requirement; investment, that is I want to optimize excess cash to invest in such a way that they are creating returns; and strategic balance, where I will keep some money in such an instrument that in urgency I can withdraw the. So in conclusion, if I hold the cash bound properly, it will create a dynamic environment of positivity and boost our confidence in trading, transaction, and production. So my stakeholders will have a confidence in my organization, and this will give me a growth-oriented business approach and overall development. So that is all about motives of holding cash. Now we need to further discuss about strategies for holding surplus. So I'll just give snapshot what we're discussing next session. We'll talk about strategies, how they are invested. We'll talk about risk and cost of holding surplus, how to manage effectively, what are tax payoffs. We'll talk about approaches to manage old surplus funds, how to deploy them, and how to manage the tax. So after this, we'll talk about legal implications. So till Saturday, we'll finish working capital, and after working capital, we'll go on a revision of advanced financial management. So be ready with your questions. Then we'll discuss about paper solving, and we'll finish the sessions for advanced financial management by 7th of October. So my dear students, examination forms are already out. Please visit the college, complete your OGT reports, complete your submissions, pay your fees, and make sure that before deadline you are submitting proper exam form with correct subjects. This time, no revision in exam form is allowed, so you might miss the year. Those students who has submitted OGT, it's a congratulations, but still some students are pending. Make sure that 25th is the deadline for CC submissions and also OGT submission. So please follow the deadlines and motivate others to join the online sessions for their betterments. So thank you all of you being part of this session. We'll meet tomorrow again, and in 2 days I'll finish the working capital. Please remember, in working capital we don't have numerical to solve. We only require theory part. So approach to working capital change in this syllabus. So we have taken more extensively. If any doubts, please be motivated to ask in the session. And tomorrow we'll meet at some time for working capital session. The link will be shared by Mohit sir by email. Please follow the link and join the session. Thank you all of you. Wish you a wonderful day.